Hey, hello, and welcome to the Whole Loaf, a holistic approach to building healthy lives and strong relationships. You know what? Tonight, you can see I've got two people here with me. I have got my wife, Suzanne, and we have Deb Murray, a food stylist to the stars, and an author of 17 different cookbooks, one of them right here. And tonight, we are going to have some fun. Tonight, we are going fishing. All right, so I'm telling you, yes, this is a fantastic meal. You are going to absolutely, positively love it. Trust me, seriously, you are going to love tonight's meal. But it's kind of themed around having fun and going fishing. Because you know, when people go fishing, like all the buddies I know, when they go fishing, I mean, they get excited about going out to sea, about the salt air, being out in the sunshine, and on the Gulf of Mexico down here in Florida. It is a big stress release for them. It is freeing for them, but above all, it is fun. I mean, they really and truly have a great time fishing. You know, the last time I went fishing, we were at Johns Pass, which is on the western coast of Florida. And we left Johns Pass at 5:30 a.m. We traveled by boat for like several hours to the middle grounds. It's like in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. We were in the central time zone.
Oh my goodness.
My phone changed to the central. I kept thinking to myself the entire time, you mean there's no fish between Johns Pass and here?
As we
travel, I know, Publix. Yeah, or the fresh market, the fish market, you can buy an awful lot of fish for the amount of gas that we spend. But you know what, tonight we are going to have some fun. You know, our God is not a cosmic killjoy. Our God does not want us to have a boring life, right? He wants us to have fun. And fun plays an extremely vital role in any relationship, whether it's with a spouse or with a parent or with your children. I mean, even with coworkers.
Right.
Fun plays a vital role in any relationship. The problem is, in our very hurried, fast-paced kind of lives, we give very little notice to having fun, don't we? It's like we get caught up with all the priorities of life. We get caught up with all the responsibilities that we lose fun. And so I'm going to challenge us tonight. We need to care not only about ourselves, but we need to care about the people that we love. And one of the ways we do that is keeping our priorities straight is about having fun. I mean, St. Paul wrote to Timothy in 1 Timothy chapter 6. It is God who richly gives us all things to enjoy. Right? And so we're going to have some fun tonight. It was Solomon in all of his wisdom, you know, the most wise man on earth. In Ecclesiastes 9, verse 9, he said this: enjoy life with your wife, whom you love all the days of this meaningless life. Yep, enjoy life with your wife.
Me too. Funnest couple I know.
And I think Solomon, what he was saying in all of his, in all of his wisdom, it says, life is way too full of toilsome labor. We need to have fun. And life is more fun when you do fun things, right? And so today we are going to be in the kitchen, we are going to have some fun with each other, and we are going to cook some fish tacos. Now I want you to understand, these fish tacos are world famous. World famous, at least here in our condo complex. They're world famous. Young people from the 6th floor, from the 1st floor, they all come over here to the 3rd floor in order to have these fish tacos. So we've got everything from homemade slaw, and we have homemade salsa. I mean, I'm ready for fun. So let's do this. So let's go ahead and make these, the homemade slaw.
Great. So this is my homemade slaw that I do for the tacos, and whenever our youngest daughter comes home from college, she always asks for fish tacos. So 2 cups of cabbage. Now I make a lot, so just be careful. I have 1 cup of red slaw, or red cabbage, should I say. And then I'm going to have the julienne carrots.
Julienne, is that from the Sound of Music?
No,
Dancing with Stars. Yeah. Julienne, Dancing with Stars.
I was digging deep there.
Yeah, these are bad.
I remember Gita.
Oh my. I always do the red onions. We have avocado, and all just comes in here.
So how much avocado do you
I have 2 avocados. And living in Florida, it's fantastic because there's always avocados. Right now you can get them, they're in season, and 5 for $4. So I have cilantro and I have garlic, but my secret recipe is you have to have a super duper soft mango.
Yum.
To the point where you're cutting it up, it's oozing all over the table. That's when you know the mango is good.
It's kind of mushy, it looks like.
It's very mushy. Yes, I agree. Also, I have already opened it. You can buy this at any grocery store, usually about $1, and it's in the produce section, and it is just to make guacamole. But I'm not making guacamole. I put it in my slaw.
Yum.
So it's kind of like the secret ingredient along with the mango.
There's 2 secret ingredients.
There's 2
the
secret.
mango and then the
I'm telling you.
guacamole.
No
sizzling
secret anymore.
mix.
No secret.
A
So
little
of
bit of
course I got a
olive
little
oil.
bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper. Now if you like it to be on the spicy side, you can always add some crushed red peppers, which in my family, you gotta have the crushed red peppers.
Yummy.
So the seasoning that you can buy for the guacamole mix, you can either buy it spicy or mild. So I usually buy it spicy, so you don't need this, but it's entirely up to you. And then, of course, apple cider vinegar, which seems to go in everything. And that would be about a good tablespoon or so.
My doctor just told me if you have an upset stomach, if you can stomach it, you take apple cider vinegar.
Very good.
I
Balances your
They did,
acids.
that's what he told me.
Your doctor is so
Yeah.
smart, Paul.
See, it's healthy. We're building strong, healthy
that what
lives
it
It's
and
colorful.
relationships.
I like how colorful it is.
You know what? When I cook, I really do look at as much color as possible because
People
it
eat with
makes
your
it
eyes.
look beautiful.
They do. People eat with their eyes.
And of course, I've got fresh lime.
And I like that tool that you have.
It's
Very
a great
nice.
tool.
It is a great tool.
Hopefully it
Keeps
doesn't.
Great for facials.
Yes.
But it
Yeah.
keeps the seeds out.
Absolutely. So I do use 1 full lime, and sometimes I add a little more because you have to do a little taste test. Oh, I got you, didn't I? Oh, I got myself.
That's having fun in the kitchen,
That's
right?
it, yeah,
There you go. I
absolutely.
love it.
So with that said, I'll just go ahead and start stirring, and you guys.
You like let it ferment for a night.
I do.
Right?
It actually works better if you let it ferment for the evening, but if you can't, a couple hours would be fantastic.
No, I'm serious. Like this is one of those things that kind of creates memories. I know it sounds kind of
Yeah.
strange, but like
I'll never forget
our
it.
daughters will come home and they will make this. They will invite their friends from the condo complex, and we've got guys from the Coast Guard. We've got some, pharmacist type people
Oh,
here.
they're
I mean,
everywhere.
they're here all over the place, and they absolutely, positively love these fish tacos and that slaw.
And it's
so,
gorgeous.
yeah, and once
Isn't it
again,
pretty? It is
it's a
so
way to-
pretty. I'm
yep.
super excited.
So we do it together, and it's a great way to build some memories with some of the people around you.
And makes the
Yeah,
new relationships.
that's right. That's exactly it.
Absolutely.
So Paul, I'm going to show you how I cook fish because obviously you guys cook fish and you know how to cook fish, but do you know there are people that have problems cooking fish? And the main problem with cooking fish is, comes from water, so it can be watery, right? So if you don't extract the water from the fish before you put it in the fry pan, it tends to steam and it'll stick to the pan.
And it sprays all
And
over
it
too.
sprays all over you. So what we have is we have a beautiful piece of grouper. This is black grouper that I bought tonight locally. I know a lot of you live in places where it's not as easy to get this, but it's a very mild, flaky fish. It's absolutely delicious. We washed it, patted it dry with a paper towel, put a little bit of olive oil on it and a little sea salt. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it in a pan that I've been preheating. You can see the smoke coming off of it. It's very important that your protein is dry when you're cooking. Your pan is hot when you're cooking. You don't have to, but I'm gonna use a tiny bit of olive oil spray, even though I have a little olive oil on here.
So to make it dry, you just like dab it with paper towels?
Dab it with paper towels, my
Okay.
favorite technique. Sprinkle it with a little salt. And then the other key thing is you want your pan hot because otherwise you're steaming.
Okay.
The other biggest mistake people make, and I'll stop talking for a few minutes because I want some wisdom from you, my friend, is overcooking fish. You are almost better off undercooking the fish and letting it rest than overcooking fish. Overcooking fish and shrimp is like tearing up $20 bills.
Yeah.
It's just not a good experience.
All right. Delicious. Oftentimes we just use like cod, right? So we'll get the flash frozen cod. You can buy in the grocery store, individually cut and packed. And whether we just fry it up with some Cajun seasoning or even just bake it.
Right.
But whatever kind of fish that you enjoy, I love grouper. Grouper is a good
Very
fish.
good.
But anyway, like I said, we do this in the kitchen all the time. So we'll cook together all the time. Excuse me. And we can have fun. And fun is a key factor in predicting overall marital happiness. So the more fun that you have with your family, the more fun that you have with your loved ones, the happier you're going to be. The more satisfied you're going to be in that relationship or in that marriage. And so, we need to be purposely nurturing. We need to be purposely planning for fun. Because there's all kinds of barriers that just kind of creep into our life. We don't even see them coming. And then all of a sudden, these barriers, they're preventing us from having fun. I mean, such as busyness. I mean, straight up, who out there is not busy?
Right.
Right?
We're busy.
Who out there, their corporate office is not calling them, or they don't have to be, to the soccer field, or they don't have to be somewhere else. I mean, we are always on the run. And when you have children, I mean, obviously so much time and energy and effort goes into your kids that couples oftentimes lose that ability to have fun because they're focused on everything else.
And the amount of stress that's going on.
Oh, exactly. Stress increases, yeah. I mean, so our careers impede us from having fun. Our priorities, they basically just get all out of whack.
Right.
And so life will crowd out fun if you don't make time, if you don't purposely set aside time for fun. All right, so I want to challenge you, I really want to encourage you, make sure you set aside time to just simply have some fun. It's kind of interesting. Research tells us that the most fun, loving kind of couples are those who are engaged pre-marriage and those who have been married for 32 years.
Wow.
All right, so there's light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, don't lose hope. There is light. 32 years out, that's all it is. No, but I mean, you can be having fun right now.
Right.
All right, and so what are some things that you can be doing to have fun? I would challenge you and your spouse or you and a family member, loved one, sit down and brainstorm ways that you can have fun. I maintain that we need to be working at play. Does that make sense?
No, it's very true.
We need to work at play. We need to work at having fun.
I agree. Make it a priority.
Well, that's it. We need to make time to have fun. Oftentimes we think it just needs to be spontaneous, like it just needs to happen. And if you really think about it, we schedule everything in life, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my calendar, I can go to my calendar and I get things scheduled. We can do the same thing with our relationships. We can schedule time to have fun.
I love it.
I mean, once again, Solomon in Ecclesiastes 3 said there's a time for everything, right? Including dancing and laughing. There's a time for everything. And so when you have fun with each other, when you're playing with each other, it releases you from all the pressures and all the hassles of life. It allows you to be yourself. And when you get to be yourself and you get to drop that facade, you get to drop that guard, man, that's when relationships really grow. That's when relationships, they continue to develop. That's when we're relaxed and we can be ourselves. And that relationship grows. I can smell this fish cooking. This looks good. We're not burning it. We're not overcooking the fish.
The relationship when we're on the cruise ship, and remember when Paul was dancing?
This is online. This is online.
He's the funnest pastor in the world, and that's what I love about him. I love your relationship together. I just could cry. It makes me so happy to watch you. But as fun as he is on camera, he's even more fun in person. You have to join our church just to see his testimonies. He's so fun. Now, let's check in on our fish for a second. Do you mind?
Nope, let's do this.
So, I've been using the split pan. We don't sell these anymore. I'm going to leave one for you and Suzanne. So what we've done is by cooking it close, we're keeping in the moisture. You can see how golden brown and beautiful it's getting.
Wow.
Let's flip over on the side. See that? We're almost there. It'll be golden brown and cooked through, tender and flaky. Suzanne, what do you use on your fish? Do you use Old Bay on it?
I do love Old Bay, but also a Creole.
Creole, I love Tony
love it.
Chachere's Creole seasoning. I love it. So I'm going to put a little bit of Old Bay on here. Use Cajun seasoning. But when we're doing fish tacos, you can even put taco seasoning from the box. Isn't a bad way to go. So this is going to need a few minutes longer. And then we're going to talk about how we're going to finish it.
Yeah, we're going to do that as well. So, it's like, when I think about couples again, once again, having fun with each other. I've never met, think about when you dated. Okay, if you're married, or if you're dating now, the reason you dated is because you had fun together, right? You enjoyed being with each other. In fact, you had so much fun with each other that you wanted to spend more and more time with each other, and then ultimately get married. You know what I mean? And so it's like, fun is key. It's vital to a healthy relationship.
Right.
And then once you get married, what happens, like I said, life kind of creeps in. You're worried about the bills, you're worried about the kids, you're worried about rent and your careers and everything else. That oftentimes our interactions with each other can become negative. And don't forget, I told you last week, you need a ratio of 8 to 1. 8 positive for every 1 negative, just simply to maintain a relationship. If you want your relationship to be strong, if you want your relationship to grow and become healthy, you need 20 to 1. 20 positive for every 1 negative. And so once again, having fun, enjoying each other's company, doing some exciting things, I mean, that is what builds strong, healthy relationships. I've never heard anybody say, wow, I really enjoy her so much because she works so hard and I knew we'd never get to spend any time together. That's why we got married.
And she's miserable.
Yeah, I mean, no, you get married because you enjoy being with each other. You get married, you develop a relationship because you're having fun with each
Exactly.
other. Yep. All right, so what do we got going
All
now?
right, so the fish is almost done, Pastor. So Zeus has made this amazing coleslaw that goes on top. What my daughter and I do, we like to put a coleslaw, but that one looks way better than a slaw than what we put on it. But we like to top ours with salsa. You like to put salsa on yours? Now, salsa is translated as sauce. And if you were to get it in Mexico, it's always cooked vegetables. Where we live in Florida with beautiful tomatoes and sweet onions, and we grow jalapenos in our garden. I like to use fresh vegetables. So this recipe, the reason we brought that cookbook was that cookbook, we actually still sell it on Amazon. The salsa recipe is in there, and it's very delicious. It's got peppers, it's got onions, it's got garlic. I have baby heirloom tomatoes in here. I've got green onions, and I have fresh peppers and jalapenos with no seeds. Now, the secret ingredient to this one is it comes out like the one at Chili's, because I'm adding in the cooked tomatoes. I like to use the Rotel with green chilies and cilantro and lime. We also have fresh cilantro in there. The other thing that I learned from a very famous chef was I would say to him, sometimes my salsa was delicious and sometimes it was terrible. And he said, the most important part is you need your lime to salt ratio has to be in perfect balance, and you should taste it before you add it to your ingredients. So Paul, do you want to put a little spoon just to see if it's too salty or too acidic? What would you add more?
No, I think it's good.
You wouldn't add anything
No,
more?
if I were doing it, I'd be a little bit salty thing.
So that's what you, and your natural instinct is correct. So I would add a little more salt to it.
I need to flip hard.
No, I think he's good. We ought to do it maybe.
He was gonna bounce it out
I was like,
I was
he was.
I was a line
see
cook
that.
back
I'm
when I
ready.
was.
I'm
yeah.
ready. Here. Yeah. I am impressed. That was some good stuff right there. Look at how beautiful it's starting to look. Oh my gosh, I better put the lid back on that. He's getting restless. He's restless. All right, so now all I'm gonna do, Paul and Suzanne, is I'm gonna pulse this a couple of times. This is the cheap little chopper that they sell at Big Lots. It's got 4 blades. And the reason I pulse it is I don't like it all one. Some people do. Now, what we're gonna do is put this on top of your log, or we can just have some margaritas and chips and salsa with our fish tacos.
Man, the Old Bay seasoning is getting to me.
Oh, sorry.
All
And
right.
so we have to do you have a spoon, Suzanne?
Yeah,
So
very
you
good.
can taste it. All right, let's give this a little try. Oh, I hope it's not too hot.
Oh, no, very good.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, very good.
So it's got a lot of, it's the sweet, it's the heat, it's the balance. I'm gonna go ahead and break up some fish. And then our tacos tonight, tortillas, we were talking about this, 8,000 before Christ was when the very first time the Mayans were serving kings corn tortillas. Flour tortillas have become popular,
Yeah, did you ever, think about
Yeah,
that. How
you
old
know
a
that was-
tortilla is. They're
Precisely.
10,000 years old.
they were grating the corn
Yeah.
and they were making it into a pan. I mean, it's amazing how
Yeah.
long we've been cooking. But this is a flour tortilla, but you know what this is, y'all? I love this. A lot of people are trying to stay away from carbs. A lot of people have found they get their midsection bloats with corn. This, Paul, is a jicama. Jicama.
Jicama.
And this is where it comes from. This is a radish. And it's wet and it's delicious and it's low in carbs and it's great for the body. And if you just have a mandolin, you can thinly slice them. Or if you have a Trader Joe's near you, I can't wait for you two to try those. So it's very low carb, very, very healthy.
A sliced vegetable.
It's a
that you bought at
sliced
Trader Joe's.
radish
Okay.
that is
A
so
sliced
juicy
radish.
and delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna break up some of my, I think I got too big a piece of fish, it's still not.
Yeah.
How long is our
It
segment
is a
tonight?
thick piece of fish.
Oh my goodness, oh, we're getting there. I think I better put the top on. Do you wanna talk a little more?
Yeah, so-
We're gonna have a few more minutes.
Anytime you're having fun, anytime you're trying to build that relationship, ultimately conflict is going to try to creep in, right? And so conflict is like the destroyer of fun. You just get a babysitter. Or you haven't been out on a date night in months. You finally break aside some time, you're going on a date night, and as you're driving, you come up to the stop sign or a stoplight, and one of you looks at each other and says, I got the credit card bill today. It's not going to end well.
No.
That is not going to end well, right? And so if conflict starts to creep in, like you're out having fun, you need to focus on having fun. If conflict starts to creep in, table it. Just simply say to the other, table it. And as long as both of you understand what that means is, we're going to talk about it tomorrow.
Right.
We're going to protect our fun tonight.
And what's that word?
Table it.
I like that.
Table it. All right, or like if conflict comes in and it's starting to get heated, it's starting to escalate, you just call it time out. And what that means is stop. You know, we're going to finish this conversation later on. You've got to protect the phone.
That's right.
You know, once again, it's a valuable commodity, right? It's a valuable resource, and we just don't get enough of it.
Right.
And so when we do have the opportunity to do it, when we do schedule it, we need to protect it.
I love that.
There is no more powerful thing a couple can do than protect their fun from conflict.
Agree.
I mean, that you want to do one thing, that's going to dramatically change your relationship, do that. Protect your fun. And I also want to encourage you, deliberately schedule fun and deliberately take actions to protect the fun. Put the cell phone down. Put the cell phone down. You don't need to be checking your text messages or your emails or Facebook or anything else. Put the phone down and focus on the person you're developing that relationship with. Focus on the person that you're trying to have fun with. You know, and be deliberate. You know, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You know, to have fun does not have to be elaborate. Oh yeah, it's always great to go on a ski trip.
Right.
It's not. Last time I went on a ski trip, I'm still not recovered from it.
That's true.
I broke, she went to visit her mom and I took my daughters on a ski trip. I'm calling her at 9 o'clock at night and after we got off the slopes. And her first comment was, all of you got off safely? And I just about broke down in tears and said, no, we're on the way to the ER right now.
No.
My oldest daughter broke her arm on a ski trip.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
And my shoulder, I tried to snowboard at the age of 50. It was too
That's why God
late.
gave us
So yes,
some
yes. So you can have fun, but having fun doesn't have to be elaborate. Okay, it
Or
can just, or dangerous. It could just be as simple as going to the park or going to the
Or cooking
beach.
together.
Or cooking together, exactly. Just spending some time.
Having board games too.
Board games?
He doesn't like
I don't do board games. But you know, I mean, just even chores. You can have fun. You can play with each other, even doing chores around the house. Okay, so just have fun. I always tell couples too, like, you know, if it worked once before, it's going to work again.
Right.
So, like, go back and do the things that you used to do when you dated. Or, you know, when you were younger and you were having fun with each other. Go back and do those things. If it worked once, it's going to work again.
We used to always go for walks when we were dating.
It's because we were broke.
We were broke.
Yeah.
But now, that's one thing we always do together because it just brings us close together. We don't have our phones and we just can concentrate on each other.
Yep.
And that's perfect.
Yep.
And you're in God's garden.
Absolutely.
You know, I think there's something to be said for being outside, how
Yeah.
beautiful it is, and especially here in Florida.
Absolutely.
All right, so
Okay.
let's check in on the fish. I think that we're going to have to, so we don't go into a 2-hour segment, we're gonna have to let this cook a little longer. I will not, on our next segment, get such a big piece of fish, but I want you to taste this.
Okay.
Like,
Can I just put a little bit of this
You
fish
can.
into it? So this is cold.
That is
So
cold.
this is cold. Okay.
All right,
So I'm
so
gonna put a
put
little
some
bit of
of
fish
your-
here. I'm gonna put a little bit of slaw in here. I want to try this. I've never had a.
All right, do you want to try?
Yes, I want to try a little of your salsa.
All right,
Do you need a spoon?
yes, please.
Yeah, we're organized. Here we are.
Thank
Okay,
you.
there we are.
Sorry.
A
The,
little
the
bit of
fish
salsa
took
there.
me down today.
All right, the fish, yeah. Okay, let's give this a shot. No, it's very good. You want to try this?
You
It is.
really-
It is
I've
very
never
good.
had this before.
You know, like when it comes to tortillas,
refreshing.
yes, it is. And so it's very thin, and it doesn't have a whole lot of taste.
No, it's almost watery.
Yeah.
Don't you think? And it's,
That is really good.
and the most important part of it is if you think about pizza or if you think about tortillas, they were used in place of a plate. Like the peasants would put their food on them instead of a plate, leave their leftovers, their salad. That's how pizza actually
Yep.
started. And this is that same instance. I mean, tortillas have become so popular throughout the world, but now we can do them with vegetables.
Yeah.
So that instead of,
Right.
you know, putting all those ingredients together and having it be delicious, but you get that crunch
Yep.
from the jicama, and it's so healthy.
Yeah, I mean it's
for you.
unique. It's very good. Like, I'm a flour tortilla guy. I don't
Right.
really like corn.
But you're thin.
But
Me,
that
if
is
I have flour
excellent.
tortillas, I look like I swallowed it.
I just wear big shirts. That's what it is. So what did we learn tonight? Dry your protein first. Put it in a very hot pan and have fun. Make sure you dedicate time. Make sure you purposely, consciously dedicate time and energy into having fun. Okay, focus on your family, have fun. Hey, you have a great day. God bless, live, love. Seriously, go ahead and try this. You are not going to be disappointed. I have not been disappointed in any recipe that we've made so far.
And we'll put all the recipes up.
Yep, it'll all be on our website. And once again, make sure you do it. And seriously, I would tell you, if it was nasty, I would wave you off. Don't do it, okay?
You would.
It is. It's good. All right. Have a great day. God bless and live love.